Hello Enduro freaks, mountain bikers out there, D Tidwell Enduro MTB training. Hope you guys had a great New Year's and a wonderful holiday and Christmas season. Wanted to start the new year off like kind of always do, and that is to rebuild and restore your body function so that we can optimally prepare ourselves for better stability, mobility, and then strength and power as the season gets closer. So one of the ways we do that, of course, is making sure that we take care of the areas that need to be mobile. They need to move. Remember, muscles can be flexible and joints need to be mobile, right? So when I speak of mobility, I'm basically saying we want the muscles to have good flexibility across the joints that they cross. And then also the joint itself has good mobility, so it moves within itself well. And then overall, from a stability standpoint, taking the shoulder for example, all the muscles in the rotator cuff are designed to stabilize the joint so that it has the capability of having optimal mobility. Okay, so today, and actually the next few videos, we'll be going through the body. I'm going to teach you some stuff to do on the floor that you can do homework on. But first, let's go to school, so to speak. Okay? And here we are. Now, I know you guys have seen this before, but guess what? Really important information is always good to repeat so that you get it in your noggins, that you put that big old dome lid on your head when you ride. So, this being the body, the skeletal system, we have areas. Sorry, I'm always going to be a self-cameraman, so I must adjust. For your optimal viewing pleasure, the body works in a in a platform basically that says we have stable segments that are connected by mobile joints. All right. If you don't take one thing away from this, remember this, because pain. This is usually where pain happens that is non-trauma based. Okay. So I'm going to teach you today, right now, the mobility and stability, or the mobile stable body, and how it works real quick, because it's easy. So wherever you see blue, right here is the foot. First place we see blue. It needs to be stable, right? We want that foot to be splayed out. We need that foot to just kind of contour to whatever it happens to be on, whether it's in a shoe or out of a shoe, in a bike shoe, on a hiking shoe, in a ski boot, it doesn't matter. We want that foot to be stable. Okay, so we've got good stability. That's why I actually found this quite fascinating. The foot and ankle together contain 26 bones. It's a lot of bones. 33 joints and over 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments. So guess what? For all of us who have tweaked our ankles, you know, it's no wonder that later on down the line in life we start to get knee issues, or we start to get hip issues, whatever it is, because that foot that's designed to be stable. And then the first mobile joint, the ankle, okay, we know the ankle needs to be mobile, because if you put your toe on the floor right now and just spin it around in a circle, that's mobility. So if you've ever had injury to this complex of this foot and ankle, then you've automatically lost stability and you've automatically lost mobility at the joint. So the goal is to always try to make sure that your tissue is capable of creating flexibility, and that your joints are always capable of creating mobility within the injury even still. So, stacking mechanism: foot, stable; ankle, mobile. Knee, for the most part, needs to be stable. Yes, it flexes, it rotates a little bit, but not a lot. The hip joint, our massive, huge hinging hip joint, which is really crucial for mountain biking, of course, is really important that we have mobility in that hip. And one of the ways is to have stability in the core. Now remember, the core isn't just your abs, it's your booty, right? Which is why I'm always talking about your booty. The butt or the glutes are the king, the abs are the queen. And for most of you, and most of my clients, they're asleep on the job at the throne. So we need to get those guys and gals back on action. Now, so hip mobile, core stable, including the booty. The thorax, or the rib cage, is another way to think of it, needs to be mobile. That rib cage needs to move on top of a stable pelvis, okay? That is where your body distributes, by the way, the pelvis and the thorax. This is where we distribute both anteriorly and posteriorly stress coming from your feet, i.e. pedals, to your hands, i.e. handlebars, right? This system has to be working correctly in order to get maximal transfer going this way and this way, from foot to bar, pedal to bar, and bar to pedal, okay? We know that the scapular region needs to be stable, okay? We always think about good posture and keeping your shoulders back and all that kind of stuff. We have good ways to teach that. And then the rotator cuff being mobile, right? We need to have good mobility in this rotator cuff, which a lot of us have had compromised because we've hit trees or fallen, and you know, we get nice little AC separations or broken collarbones. So it's very important that we get this to be stable, actually this to move, so this can have good stability, and it can help that move better. Elbow is going to be a stable joint. Wrist is going to be a mobile joint, okay? We also have the upper cervical, where, excuse me, the lower part of the cervical spine is supposed to be stable, and then the upper part, C1, C2, is where your head is supposed to get most of its range of motion. So, think about injuries. We've all had them. The most common is low back pain. If your hips are tight and they're designed to be loose, and your thorax is tight and it's designed to be, not loose, excuse me, mobile, and your core is weak, well, guess what gets beat up? Those vertebral discs get beat up. So that's why in all of our programs, for example, we're trying to strengthen the glutes so that it can provide nice mobility at the hip joint, and we're also trying to increase the stability of the core, all while mobilizing the T-spine, okay? Make sense? Remember, how many foot and ankle cool little skeletal bits of information do we have? 26 bones, 33 joints, 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, so solution time. Let's show you some things that you can do on your own. I'm all about self-therapy because you can do this at races, you can do this before rides, you can do this to help knock down any pain that might come up. It's always suggested in association with a chiropractor or a physical therapist, or a medical doctor, of course, if you're definitely injured. But this stuff you can do on your own. Cool? All right, so the 3 tools. Hello, I'm here. Foam roller. I'm too low. Foam roller. Every one of you should have one. Sorry, there's my hand. If you don't have one, get one. Because we can roll through the entire lower leg with your simple foam roller, okay? I suggest the closed cell foam because it's more dense. And basically what we're gonna do, just take that leg, place it on top, get your other leg on top, and roll side to side all the way up to the back of the knee. This isn't gonna feel good, most likely, and you're just trying to kind of rip through that, all those muscles, trigger points, adhesions that you might find, okay? Whenever you find one, you stay there, you'll roll through it. Because after you go side to side, you can go longitudinally, searching for any kind of good, nice trigger point or adhesion, okay? If you can't stack it because it's too painful, do both legs, no problemo, okay? So, again, focusing on that lower leg, because we have to have good mobility with the ankle, right? So how can we, from the lower leg, help with ankle mobility? And that's why we address the lower calf stuff, okay? So this is a general way to do this. A more specific way is using a stick or a 1-inch or a 1/2-inch piece of PVC tubing. It doesn't matter. You can use a golf club, you can use anything that's round and will slide or glide. So same idea with the stick. You're just going through and really pushing and just going through that tissue and trying to find little or, well, it's not going to be little. You're probably going to find some good trigger points and stuff in there, right? So there's one there that I would work on. And one thing that I'll do, sometimes I'll go side to side, but I'll definitely hold it on there, and I'll just kind of creep, really trying to get that thing to go away. Now, you're not going to always get rid of trigger points if you're just new to this right away. It's going to take minutes, hours, days, weeks sometimes, depending on your injury source and the amount of repetitive stress placed upon the tissue. So you have to be patient, okay? So this is a really good way to address that. We also can go through the entire quad at its attachment, since we cyclists tend to get a lot of byproduct that gets built up in these lower legs, lower quads, all the way through, okay? General way, a more specific way is to take a lacrosse ball. By the way, these 3 tools should be in your self-therapy kit. They're really cheap. You can get them pretty much anywhere now. Take a book, a yoga block, anything of that nature to elevate. Put your lacrosse ball on top of it. And then, this isn't going to feel good, by the way, because this is the most specific way of the 3 tools to really address any trigger points and adhesions. But you're going to find some good, yummy stuff through here. And all you're doing is basically going longitudinally along the muscle line and just really trying to get into those deeper muscles, posterior tib, plantaris, things like that, that are really close to the bone, but not really visible because of the calf and the soleus. So really work through all of that as well. I think, again, if you guys don't do this on a regular basis, you're going to find you're not going to like me because of this. But watch what happens if you have ankle and knee issues to your joint mobility, how it increases, and your ability to use the muscles for stability of that newfound mobility. It's a great, great thing, okay? Now, tools aside, what can we do? Oh, last thing, golf ball, foot. 33 bones, right? 100 ligaments and all that kind of good stuff. The bottom of the foot tends to hold a lot of stress. So take a golf ball. You can even do this at work, for example, if you're in a seated workplace, and just go through, just like this, through an entire foot with your golf ball. Okay, roll that foot in, push that knee in a little bit to hit this whole inside part of the foot, the plantar section of the foot where the fascia is, and working through any and all spots all the way to the outside. I've got some good stuff out here. Again, nice and slow. And what you'll feel is a foot that might feel like this, to your foot starting to go like this and get a little bit wider, which is what we want. We want a nice, wide, receptive foot to deal with whatever particular substance you happen to be walking on, whether it's concrete or dirt or sand. Even if it's a shoe, it's always better to have a good, stable foot, okay? So we went foam roller, stick, we used the lacrosse ball for the lower leg, and for the foot, we used the golf ball, okay? Now, you can do basic things like calf raises, okay? Just one at a time, straight up, straight down, double up, straight up, straight down, okay, to help with stability of the ankle and to get those muscles involved. That's a good thing. Doing multi-joint activities like squatting and lunging and deadlifting and things like that force the lower leg to be active in stabilizing, okay, we want that as well. So all of the leg exercises, to the exclusion of leg extensions and hamstring curls and things like that, will tend to bring in that lower leg musculature and help make it strong. All right, so that is your first video of the week on this particular session, talking about restore and rebuild. All right, so go do that homework and do it a lot, okay? Don't stop. Again, if there's one thing that you take away from this video, do this a lot and always, and then spread the word. Tell your family members, because this kind of stuff is actually, as simple as it is, and sometimes it's painful, has actually revolutionized the way some of my clients have been able to move, live, ride. Because remember, our goal here, my goal is to help you be a better overall athlete who happens to ride a mountain bike, because it's those types of athletes that get to ride long, hard, and fast. Okay? And that's what we want, to ride the bikes as long as we can, as hard as we can, as fast as we can, so we can have the most fun we can, right? And that is all based of how well your body works on a regular basis. So there we go. Hope you enjoy it. Check out EnduroMTBtraining.com. We have a new website. It's pretty awesome. Go check it out. But like always, if I can help with anything, shoot me an email, info@EnduroMTBtraining.com. And D. Tidwell here signing off. Hope you guys have a great couple days. Talk to you soon.